What's up, everybody? Welcome to the betting breakdown for UFC Vegas 12. We have a very good card here. Very good main event, very good co-main event as well. Uriah Hall versus Anderson Silva, believed to be Anderson Silva's retirement fight here, 45 years old. Bryce Mitchell, Andre Fili, the co-main event, a fight that people are really split on. Going to touch on that a little bit here, but this is mostly going to be a betting breakdown here, talking strictly betting. I'm not going to go in and break down the fights all that much. If you do want to see my breakdowns, I did post a breakdown on Wednesday, and I also did a live stream going over the weigh-ins and all that good stuff. So with that said, we're going to go fight by fight, talking bets and bets only. Before we get started, if you guys can leave a like, subscribe if you have not yet, would appreciate that a ton. Almost to 8,000 subs. I think we need like a little bit under 500 more, so it would be nice to get that in the near future. But yeah, let's get to it. Hopefully it's another good week this week. Had a really good week last week, so hopefully we continue here. And we're going to start with the first fight of the night. Miles Johns versus Kevin Natividad. I do have a bet on Kevin Natividad at plus 155. I got it at. I have one unit on that. It is now down to plus 135. I still think there's value on that line. I do think this fight should be a pick 'em. I feel like it's going to play out very close. I feel like Kevin Natividad has multiple advantages in this fight, that being the cardio, that being the striking. And if Miles Johns does take him down, Kevin Natividad is a brown belt in BJJ. And, with Johns taking him down, that is only going to drain Johns' energy. And Johns actually has slowed down in past fights here. And Kevin Natividad will not slow down here. So I like Natividad. I think it's going to be a really close fight. I can see Miles Johns maybe winning that first round, but definitely Natividad taking over late, maybe even a late finish as well. In an interview, Natividad even said he's going to come out there and try to get a first round knockout. I mean, I don't expect that to happen, but that would be nice here. So give me Kevin Natividad in a fight I feel like should be a pick 'em. I think there was a lot of value on that plus 155 line. Next, we got Dustin Jacoby versus Justin Ladette. I like Jacoby here. I see some love out there for Ladette, and I actually kind of think Ladette's alive in a way. I think if there was one big favorite on this card to lose, it could be Dustin Jacoby here. And due to the fact that, Ladette actually has a really solid ground game, he's finished 56% of his fights by submission. Jacoby has been submitted twice as well. I don't know if Ladette has the wrestling to get Jacoby down. I think Ladette only has like a takedown in the UFC. If he does get Jacoby down, I think he could have a big advantage. And we did see Jacoby slow down a ton in his Contender Series fight, his last fight. And Ladette actually has a pretty solid gas tank. I think the line's pretty wide at minus 355. I'm not going to have any action on Jacoby here. If you want to take a shot on Ladette, maybe look at the sub prop plus 1170. That could be something to look at there if you are on the Ladette side. He has finished over half of his fights by submission, and maybe Jacoby gasses out and he's able to get a takedown, submit him there. I think it's possible, but I am going to go with Jacoby here to get it done. I just think he's going to throw more volume. I think he's the better striker, but it just seems like a sketchy fight and a really sketchy line at minus 335. Next, we have Jason Witt versus Cole Williams. This is a fight that everybody keeps crapping on, and I actually am really excited for this fight. It should be actually a really fun fight here, and I do have some action on it as well. I think Jason Witt is the better fighter in every aspect of MMA outside of that chin, and it could play a part here, but Cole Williams, he did miss weight by like 4.5 pounds. His last fight a couple of years ago against Silva, he also missed weight by like 4 or 5 pounds, ended up getting submitted really fast there, got taken down easily. I don't think Witt's gonna do what Silva did, but I do think Witt can implement kind of the same game plan. Witt's a very good wrestler, very good on the mat as well. I do think Cole Williams has pretty poor takedown defense, really poor cardio, just showing up, 36 years old, I believe he is right now, 4.5 pounds overweight. This is definitely probably going to be his last fight in the UFC here, and I just think Witt's the better fighter. Witt's in way better shape, and I do have Witt. I have him at minus 140. I have 1.5 units on that. Just him being the better fighter, and outside of Williams landing that hard shot in round one, I don't see how Witt loses here. But with that said, I mean, I think it's really possible that Williams could land a shot. Witt is very chinny, has been knocked out 4 times, and that's why I also took the fight doesn't go to the decision line at plus 150. I think that line is way off. Both guys have never lost by decision. If Williams wins, it's going to be in round 1. It's going to be a knockout. If Jason Witt wins, I think he win in any single round, probably a submission. But yeah, both guys have never went to the scorecards and lost. So Cole Williams has been knocked out once. He's been submitted once as well. And Jason Witt's been finished 6 times. So give me Jason Witt here. I think he's a much better fighter. But I also like that fight doesn't go to decision line. I got it at plus 150. It's now plus 135. I still think there's value. Take a look at the under 2.5. I think is something else that has some value there. Jason Witt by submission plus 750. Not a bad look there as well. And Cole Williams' first round knockout is probably like plus 1,000 something. It's probably not a bad look if you are on the Williams side there. So getting into the next fight here, we have Sean Strickland versus Jack Marshman. Jack Marshman did not look all that great on the scales, and I went to look and see what the odds were for Sean Strickland inside the distance, and I was expecting it to be like minus 120, minus 115, but no, Sean Strickland inside the distance was plus 160. So I took a shot on that. I have one unit on Sean Strickland inside the distance. And, Strickland's actually a decent finisher, 65% finish rate, decent submissions as well, decent power. And I think he's the much better fighter here in this fight. Like, it's really not even close. Marshman, this is probably his last fight in the UFC. I mean, I think he missed weight as well. He looked pretty bad on the skills. And I don't know if he has the cardio to go 15 rounds here with Strickland, someone that's going to be pushing the pace. Probably should go for takedowns here. Marshman does have a 20% takedown defense. I see Strickland probably locking up a sub or maybe even knocking out Marshman. Marshman's been knocked out 4 times. He's been submitted twice. I think there's a ton of value on that Sean Strickland wins inside the distance. I think Sean Strickland is a great parlay piece as well. I think he's a much better fighter here. Next, we have Adrian Yanez versus Victor Rodriguez. I have Adrian Yanez in a parlay. Probably my most confident pick on the whole card here. And he is making his UFC debut, but we have seen him on the Contender Series. Victor Rodriguez is coming from that Alaska scene. He has fought absolutely nobody. I think this is a big mismatch. I think they're bringing in Victor Rodriguez to get Adrian Yanez a win in his first, UFC fight here, and probably a knockout here, probably early. I mean, he hits really hard. He's very accurate, and Victor Rodriguez, he leaves a lot of openings. I mean, he's wild. He throws these big looping punches, and he does, I don't know. I think he's going to knock him out in like the first 2 rounds here. So give me Yanez to get it done. Maybe take a look at the KO prop, minus 145. Might as well play the inside the distance, minus 155. I still think there's some decent value on it. Hard to see Victor Rodriguez lasting 15 minutes here. I think Yanez is much better. Alexander Hernandez versus Chris Gruetzemacher. This is the other leg to my parlay. I have Hernandez parlayed with Yanez, minus 155. I got it earlier in the week. I think it's like minus 190 right now. But you could add another leg of Strickland, make it near plus money. I think that 3-legger is pretty good there. But I really like Alexander Hernandez, my second most confident pick on the card. It's kind of hard to trust the guy, but this is a really big step down in competition. A 34-year-old Chris Gruetzemacher, pretty simple path to victory. I think he could stand with Gruetzemacher, but just take this dude down. Has a really poor takedown defense. Grind him out. Maybe even find a submission. Hernandez by submission, plus 550. Not good enough for me. Hernandez by decision, minus 140. I just think it's a good parlay piece. I wouldn't really touch the props on this one. Next, we have Bobby Green versus Thiago Moises. I really like Bobby Green here. I think this is a fantastic matchup for him if he fights smart. I know in his last fight he was out there taking down black belt Alan Patrick. Don't do this with Moises. This is a legit grappler in Thiago Moises here. If he does take down Moises, he could be in some trouble. So hopefully he fights smart, stuffs the takedowns, and just strikes with Moises for 15 minutes. I mean, it's a clear path to victory for an easy decision here. And I did take Bobby Green by decision. I got it at minus 140. I have 1.5 units on that. Bobby Green has not had a finish since like 2012. And Moises has never been knocked out. Obviously, Moises has never been submitted as well. So, yeah, give me Bobby Green here by decision. I really think there's some good value there. You're taking, a minus 315 favorite and turning it into like a minus 135, minus 140 favorite there. So, give me Bobby Green by decision. I like it a lot. Greg Hardy versus Maurice Green. No action for me here. I guess maybe I'll put Hardy in a Hail Mary parlay. I do think he gets it done. I think he's the much better fighter. Green does leave a lot of openings. He is there to be hit, and he is, pretty chinny. I mean, he was knocked down in his last fight. He even got rocked by Junior Albini a couple fights ago. And if Hardy lands a hard one on him, I do think he can put him down. Hardy by KO, minus 125 is not bad. But we have seen Hardy as of late come out here and, kind of take his time, try to just win on points. Hardy by decision plus 330 is not a bad look. I would like it better if they're in the bigger cage, but in the smaller cage, I do think, 2 heavyweights, or the action's going to be pressed a little bit more. I do think Hardy probably lands that shot there, but don't have a bet on that one. Next, we have Kevin Holland versus Charlie Ontiveros. I do think Kevin Holland wins. I think he wins very early, as he should. If he comes in here like he did in the Hernandez fight, he's going to win in a minute. If he comes in here and messes around, it could get extended, but there's no reason for it. Ontiveros really doesn't have much of a path to victory here. It'd have to be a knockout. Had to knock out Holland in some way, and Holland has a really good chin. I don't see it happening. I think Holland at minus 265 inside the distance actually has some solid value, honestly. I'll probably put that in a Hail Mary parlay, but other than that, I'm going to stay away from the fight. Minus 750. I think if you're doing multiple legs, sure, I think it's fine. It's really hard to see Holland losing this fight. Bryce Mitchell versus Andre Fili. No bet for me here. I wanted more money to come in on Bryce Mitchell. I wanted a better line on Andre Fili. It seems like all of the public is on Bryce Mitchell, but all of the money is coming in on Andre Fili. I do lean on the Fili side. Just not really confident enough to bet it. I did hear an interview where Fili said he was going to mess around with Mitchell and test his ground game on the mat there. If he does that, it could be a long night for Fili there. But clear path to victory. Stuff those takedowns. I do think he can. I think Fili is the better wrestler here. But maybe Bryce Mitchell does get him down. And if he does, it could be, he could have like 5 minutes of top control, maybe even find a submission. Bryce Mitchell is an absolute wizard on the mat. But I do lean towards Fili stuffing those takedowns and keeping this on the feet here. But no bet for me. Bryce Mitchell by sub, plus 270, not good enough there. Yeah, I don't really like any props in this one. Maybe the fight doesn't go decision is something to look at, but other than that, it's probably a big pass for me. Uriah Hall versus Anderson Silva. I really like Uriah Hall here. 45-year-old Anderson Silva. It's just, what is Uriah Hall going to come in here and what's he going to do? Is he going to try to get the finish, or is he going to kind of sit back, have a little bit too much respect for Silva, kind of like Adesanya did, and just kind of like point fight with him for 25 minutes? If he does that, it could honestly be a close fight. But if he comes in here and tries to get the finish, like attacks those legs early, he should get him out of here. He did say in an interview that he wants to be the bad guy. I do recommend that here. So give me Hall to win. I don't have a bet on this one. Probably going to throw Hall in like a Hail Mary parlay at minus 225. I think that's really generous, honestly. Kind of surprised the line's even that close here. I think Hall inside the distance is not a bad look. It was like plus 180 earlier in the week. I think plus 130 is still not a bad look. I think he very well could, if he wants to, finish Anderson Silva here, just attacking those legs and getting him out of there. So that's about it. Just to recap on my bets, have Kevin Natividad 1 unit plus 155, Jason Witt minus 140. 1.5 units on that. Jason Witt, Cole Williams, fight doesn't go to decision, 1 unit plus 150 on it. Alexander Hernandez versus Adrian Yanez. Alexander Hernandez parlayed with Adrian Yanez, minus 155, 2 units on that. Sean Strickland inside the distance, plus 160, 1 unit on that. Bobby Green wins by decision, minus 140, 1.5 units on that. That's probably about it for me. I might add another play. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. I will be posting more plays. I might even throw a Hail Mary parlay out there as well. So that's about it. Had a fantastic week last week. Almost a 6-unit profit, and then plus that Hail Mary parlay that hit. Hopefully we hit another one this week. And good luck, guys, with your bets. If you're going the other way, good luck to you as well. And let's make some money here on UFC Vegas 12.